let's review Pet Sematary by Stephen King. Okay, I know we've all watched the movie, but I've actually never read the book. And I have to say, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. I don't read a lot of Stephen King, so this is the first Stephen King novel I've read as an adult. Because I used to read Stephen King as a child, but when you're a kid, sometimes, especially with him, I felt like his books took forever to get anywhere, and it was just really hard for me to read any of his novels as a kid. But I would try. But anyway, ever since then, I thought maybe Stephen King is not for me, and I picked this up because it was on someone else's list of one of the scariest books that they read. So I loved it. I didn't think it was scary in the slightest, but it was very cool. It was very well done. And throughout the entire book, I kept thinking it was like the monkey's paw. And it's funny because he even quotes the monkey's paw at the end, which is, I guess, an homage to it, right? But because, if you've read The Monkey's Paw, then you know that it ends right as the person that they wish to come back to life knocks on their door, and then it just kind of, it ends in a cliffhanger. And I thought that's what was going to happen here. I thought, okay, so maybe everything that was in the movie was completely made up and the movie is different. But no, it's not. So what you see in not the remake, in the 1980s movie is pretty much what is in this book. Okay. So Stephen King's Pet Sematary, if you're not familiar with it, let me give you a brief synopsis. It's about this family who moves to this quaint town called Ludlow, Maine. And the father figure of the household, he is Lois. He is a doctor who's now working at the university hospital. They soon realize that their property is extensive, which also has a pet cemetery nearby, and that's in their property. Not far from there is an Indian burial ground that is but isn't on their property, but there is like they call it a deadfall in the book, and this deadfall consists of lots of dead trees that are piled on top of each other so that nobody can go past this barrier. It makes it very difficult to go past this barrier. Anyway, long story short, they soon realize that if you go to the Indian burial ground and bury a dead thing in it, this dead thing comes back to life. And it comes back to life and not always returns the way they were when they were alive. So it's more about, I felt, the father and his grief for the person he loses in his life. One thing I loved about it, and maybe he does this on all of his books, and if you read a lot of Stephen King, please comment below and let me know, because I loved that he did this. So when you read Pet Sematary, he does this thing where he lets you look inside the minds of his characters, and he pretty much tells you what they're thinking. So every move they make, every decision they make is accompanied by their thought process, and so you know exactly why they're making this decision, which I thought was really good. And so after I read the book, I saw the remake. I've seen the remake before, but I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I actually liked the remake. And then I read this book, and then I resaw the remake, and the remake felt very, I don't know, empty, because there's so much character development in the book, because you can see their thoughts and their history and all of that, that it really lacked. The movie really lacked for me because of that. Also, the so the book ends, right, and then when you watch the remake, one thing I really liked I'm sure this is something that everybody hated, but I actually happen to like it, is that they switch things up in the remake. I don't know how you want to say it. Like, it almost continues where the book left off, and it gives you I don't know, an extra 20 minutes of what would happen if there were an additional 100 pages in the book or something like that, which I thought was really fun. But I liked it. It didn't scare me. I thought it was really fun though. Now, a question for you guys. Actually, two questions for you guys. What do you think of this book, Pet Sematary by Stephen King? Please leave a comment below. And also, what is the scariest book you ever read? Leave it in a comment. And the reason why I'm asking that is because I want to read them. I love scary books. And if they actually scare me, I think that's like a huge plus. All right, that's it for now. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.